officially a partaker if you've tuned in today to watch the Your Take Show on Magic One TV. Thank you so much for joining us and joining our family. We call each other partakers. What are we partaking? We are partaking in health, so we are partakers of health. We discuss nutrition because I am a nutritionist, and my name is Amanda. So how about you stay tuned and let's talk nutrition, right? Starting us off is usually the food throne. And what do we do here? We want to highlight our food because our food is so important to our health and we cannot do all of them all at once. So we take our time just looking at one after the other every single episode. Today we'll be looking at lentils to see what exactly do lentils offer us. Are they important for us? What's that one thing you could forget everything else about lentils, but don't forget this particular thing. So when it comes to lentils, please do not forget it has a nutrient or a chemical called glutamine. This glutamine is very important in our bodies because it's the preferred energy source for a particular type of white blood cells. That means if you want to be boosting a sect of your immunity system, then you have to have lentils. If you're going to be stronger, if you're going to fight disease better, then lentils is going to help you doing that. So if there's anything else you forget, now lentils have fiber, they have lots of other minerals and vitamins, like zinc, like iron, but if there is vitamin A even. So if there is anything else you forget, please remember that they're important because of glutamine and because of your immunity system. That should remind you whenever you see lentils to pick up some and take them home. So that was it for our food throne today. Let's go into our discussion room where we just talk about the questions you very important people, my champions of nutrition and champions of health, are asking. So listening to me calling you a champion of health, you're wondering, how did I become a champion? If you haven't yet sent in your questions or your feedback, then you are lagging behind in terms of becoming a champion of health and nutrition. This is how you can do it. Very simply, just go to our social media platforms and engage there. Send in your feedback. Get to follow the pages and like and subscribe. Starting off with YouTube page channel name is Amanda Twebaze-Nutritionist. On Facebook, it's Amanda Twebaze-Nutritionist. On Instagram, my handle is Food Witness. And if you would like to, send your inquiries via WhatsApp, that's very possible on 0782 152610. Let's get into our first question. The first partaker is called British, and he was asking, what makes a woman of C-section not pass stool for almost a week now? Now, when you're dealing with major surgeries, of course, the body has to take time to readjust to its normal functionality. So you have to give it its time as well. Usually this kind of happens, the constipation or having very fewer bowel movements than you usually do. It usually happens, but it should get back to normal within some time, a week or two. Maybe if it extends, like overextends and goes into like a month or something, then you start figuring out who to consult to be able to deal with this particular problem. But if it's just a week, I think you need to wait it out and agree that you need to be patient with your body. It's coming from a state it wasn't used to and it's being brought back, or should we say like resuscitated. Yeah, so you need to give it some time. We've put down different options you could use to try and remedy this naturally as you wait it out to see it improving down on the Facebook page. Let's go into our second question coming in from Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is asking, can I lose about 15 kilograms with green tea in 2 weeks? So this is such an ultimatum. You're being so cruel to your body, Elizabeth. You have given us 2 weeks to use green tea and to lose 15 kilograms. Like that's serious. It's too drastic, and so because it's too drastic, you might still set your body in motion for side effects that you would not desire. For example, you could end up having, saggy skin on the outside physically. You could also end up having, eroding parts of your intestinal lining or digestive system. And that means you might, create way for, ulcers or inflammation, which you might not want. So, you know what? It's very important that we achieve our health goals, but not in record time of what we what we desire so quickly, but in record time of what the body actually sees as okay for it, that doesn't bring on side effects that will affect it. So take your time. You don't need to lose this weight in 2 weeks. You need to lose some weight in 2 weeks, but you don't need to lose 15 kilograms in 2 weeks. So take your time, give your body its ample space to be able to work it out, as long as you're doing all you need to. Don't focus on green tea only, focus on so many other foods that are actually beneficial for healthy weight loss. Florence has just checked in, and Florence is asking, is adding wheat flour good for our babies? Well, it's important for babies, number one, that you do a sample test for these new foods you're introducing. Wheat has also been seen to have an allergen, that is gluten, so you want to be very careful how you give it to your children. Introduce it, but introduce it gradually. And remember, because of that risk for allergy, you do not want to be giving them so much of it. So in moderation, it is okay. And also, if you are doing a sample test before, so give them just a tiny bit of a wheat-based product. You might want to probably start with bread and then see how they react to that. And if there is no reaction, then you can increase the quantities gradually. Here the key factor is gradually introduce it to them, so you can see how it actually affects them, but also if it is not going to be a factor for allergy for them. So yeah, that's it, Florence. Just be careful how you are introducing this food, but otherwise, if it's used in moderation, it's definitely fine. Ronnie is our fourth partaker, and he was asking, why am I not gaining weight yet I am taking a lot of protein? Now, with weight gain, you definitely have three important factors. I don't know if it was muscle gain that you really were looking to, or it was general weight gain. But with weight gain, there are three important factors that would help. That is carbohydrate, protein, and fat. So if it's really general weight gain, then it's not just proteins that come in handy. Actually, carbohydrates come in more handy than protein at this point, because carbohydrates are actually the first source or preferred source of energy for your body. That means if you're not providing them with that primary source of energy, then they're going to look to your proteins which you're offering them. You're not giving them carbohydrates, so they're going to look to your proteins which you're offering them. And that's why you find the protein you're giving your body to try and increase mass is actually being utilized to provide energy. So you know what, you need to make sure you're giving yourself adequate carbohydrate foods and also adequate fat foods as well if you're looking for muscle gain, for general weight gain. If it's muscle gain, then look more for carbohydrate and protein. I will put down more detailed responses down on the Facebook page with instances of different foods that you can actually use. So you know what, head down to the Facebook page, Amanda Twebaze Nutritionist, and see if you can find more information that's actually helpful for you. The last partaker is Zion, like we said earlier, and they were asking, I'm a gymnast, and I would like to use supplements in order to gain weight. Which one is healthier and can I use? Well, I'm not going to be naming and shaming brands. Like we said, it's just not ethical in our world, but if you just key pointers of the things you should be looking out for that are very important. Of course, you're a gymnast, so muscle flexibility and muscle tone is really important. Having firm and stronger bones is also very important, and at the same time you want to have some weight that helps you just be more, not just be swayed by the wind, but be able to control yourself more on the ground. So yes, that means you'll need protein shakes will be very helpful for you. Multivitamin supplements will also be really good for you, and something with whey protein in it may also be good. So you might want to look at some of those while you go into supplement shops, and just check out which ones you can actually get for yourself. So yeah, that was it, Zion. I will try and include as much tips as I can for these particular supplements on the Facebook page. Now we're going into our take of the week, which is generally the opinion of the week that seemed to hit us more, or we seemed to relate with the most on the Facebook page. So let's get into that in a bit. So the take of the week is coming in from a very wise partaker. I'm so glad he's a part of our communities. He's called Paul Arali, and he said dieting is about knowing what to eat and when to eat it. Just eating foie is a bad idea, and I totally support that message. If you do not think about the foods you're going to eat or pre-plan your foods, then you're going to eat foie, like he calls it. That means you're eating on impulse, you're eating unplanned, you're eating whatever is available, and whatever is available may not necessarily be what is actually helpful for you or healthy for you. So you need to be able to know what you are eating and when to eat it. That's the basic of dieting. Dieting is not about starving yourself, it's actually about eating what's right and when it is right. So thank you, Paul. That was very, very helpful. I know it's going to have educated a lot of us out there. Let's go into our wellness quotes. The wellness quote today is very simple and precise. It says, pay the price to get the prize. Do I need to say a lot about that? I don't think so, but because, I know you just love to hear me speaking, and, just get to also give your feedback. So I'll talk about it. If you want to get, if you want to get something achieved, if you want to ultimately attain and succeed at, what you felt you needed to be fulfilled, then you're going to have to pay the price for it. You're going to have to sacrifice a bit for it, or even a lot for it. You're going to have to compromise sometimes on what you think you wanted for what you actually needed. You're going to have to cut costs, cut budgets here and there. You're going to have to you're going to have to hang in there and be patient. You're going to have to pay the price in order to get what you want. So you know what, it's better to look at the bigger picture, which is the price, because that usually will motivate you to keep going and go through that journey no matter how hard it gets, so you can actually reach where you need to. So I hope that this week, as you go into this week, you go into it, more positive still, and, with that attitude that it doesn't matter what I'm going through now, it will also end as long as I see the bigger picture and I get to the bigger prize. Well, that was fun. Beautiful people like you, good vibes like the Your Take Show. I'll see you next week. Remember that wellness is an adventure. Bye.